Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Blue Jays Way. Chris here with Daniel.
Hello, hello.
Hey, and we're talking draft today. Today, we're talking about three players who we think the Toronto Blue Jays should draft in the 2024 draft. Ain't that right?
And we're doing try to being realistic as possible. I mean, we're not saying Travis Bonanza is going to go number one or Jack Kent, whatever his name is,
Oh,
the
Charlie
two-way guy
Condon or
there,
something.
the Shohei Ohtani. So
Oh, Jack Caglione. That guy's looking like an absolute stud.
Caglione, that's how you
Yeah,
say
yeah.
his name.
Caglione. I'm just looking at him right now. But like Travis Bazzana, what a last name, by the way, to go first overall. Like that'll go crazy. And
Dude, there's
where's
some
in
sick
Texas?
names in this draft.
Yeah,
That's all
Charlie
I'm saying. But
JJ
yeah,
Weatherholt.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's some
So
really cool names in this draft for sure. Now,
yeah.
Chris, going into this draft, what do we think the Jays are going to go? I mean, they've gone the high school route the last two times. I think they're going to go the college route, and I think you're kind of on the
I'm a
same
college
page
route guy.
if I'm correct.
Yeah, I'm on the college route as well. I mean, what did the Jays go last couple years? All high school, right? Barry era was a
Yeah,
high school.
they've gone
Namala.
2 or 3 high schools in a row, I think.
Yeah, and that's what kind of teams like to do. They like to start with high school guys because they're all young, and then once those high school guys get a little bit older, then they put college guys in there as well, so they kind of all have similar ETAs. It's kind of like getting into the next competitive window. You want all your guys coming up at the same time. Um, so we're going to talk about three guys today who we think the Jays can draft that are realistic. And let's start with the first one here. This is Ryan Waldschmidt. What a name. He is an outfielder from Kentucky. He's a college player born 2002, 1 year older, younger than us, sorry. Do you feel old, Daniel?
I do feel it every time we talk prospects. It's a lot of fun.
I mean,
And I
remember
think the
that Jays
interesting
guy
about
from '07?
Waldschmidt is, Chris, he actually missed his entire freshman year because he tore his ACL in a collision with the catcher in a game.
Oh,
So, yeah.
wow.
So he's got one less year of development than all these guys. But I
I
mean, the
see that.
kid's a stud. Like, he's
He
got
is a
some
stud.
really good power tools at 55 and a 55 hit.
Yeah.
Got some decent runs still for tearing his ACL. The problem with him is his defense, and I don't think if we draft him, we're relying on him to be a defender at all.
Honestly, I don't give a crap if you're a good defender or not. Like, yeah, it's cool to have Varsho out there, but I want someone who just hits bombs and just gets on base because that's really what the Jays need right now is guys who can drive in runs and pitching, kind of. But I don't think Jays are going to go pitching this draft. Like, we've gone pitching quite a lot recently. So, Ryan Waldschmidt, man, I really like him. He's 205 pounds, bats right, throws right. He's 21, he's 6'2", guy's an absolute tank. So, I mean, there's a lot to develop. I mean, he's already quite developed because he's a college player, but like, there's still more that you can develop. And I can see him being called up at the age of like 25.
Yeah, this year with Kentucky in the NCAA, he hit 333, Chris, in 200 at bats, 14 home runs, 46 RBIs, 25 stolen bases, 40 walks, 469 on base, and a 610 slugging with a 1.05 year OPS. So pretty good numbers for a college student, obviously.
Oh, great numbers for a college student. How old was he? He's 21. Yeah, I
He's
mean, it's not
21.
that. I know, like college, they use metal bats or whatever, so every like batting stat's overinflated. But still, good numbers. 14 bombs. Like I love me the 14 homers. But we've seen that also with what's his name, Austin Martin. He hit a lot of
Austin
bombs,
Martin.
and yeah, and he just literally has like a noodle bat in the MLB. So we'll see, we'll see. Let's move on to the second guy here. These are the kind of my two more favorites in this draft. Vance Honeycutt, man, that is the most American name I've ever heard, probably. What a stud.
I'm a big Vance Honeycutt fan.
Me too. I love him.
Since the College World Series started, dude was actually insane. For North Carolina during their run.
Oh yeah, he's crazy. He's an 03, so he's even younger than the other guy. So I mean, once again, we're old, 2 years older than this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he just looks older than I am. I'm gonna be honest, but he's
And
an
I mean,
absolute.
Vance Honeycutt, we're talking power with this guy, Chris. Like we're
He's even
talking
more of a
28
unit.
home runs in the NCAA this year. And we're
Woo!
talking like a 330 average. Like this guy
Amen.
raked. He
Amen.
batted leadoff for North Carolina going into the College World Series playoffs there. I mean, man, I'm really excited where this guy goes this year, I think.
Yeah, and one thing about Vance Honeycutt compared to the other guy we just talked about, he's a 70 grade fielding and 80's the max. Bro's gonna win a gold glove, hit the batting title, and be like a power three. Is this Mike Trout? Like this guy's
Like
an
they
absolute
were
stud.
comparing him during the College World Series in the games that I saw. We were comparing, not we, but the commentators were comparing him to Dustin Ackley. Ooh, I don't know if you remember that guy, but that utility kind of Gold Glove defender, big power guy that was on Seattle for a long time. I
Yeah, I
see him
remember
more
him.
as a Dalton Varsho.
He seems like a Dalton Varsho, yeah, for sure. I mean,
Like
I
he
would
seems like
like
everything
more
that we want
contact though.
Dalton Varsho to be.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, if this guy hits 330 with like 30 bombs, I mean, I'm not gonna say no, right? I know it's college as well, but still, the guy's an absolute tank. 205 pounds, 6'3". Like, come on, like look at these dudes. They're massive human beings.
Also, by the way, Honeycutt, just think of all the marketing you can do with that last name. That's
That's
all
such
I'm
a
saying.
sick last name. Get Vance Honeycutt on this team. And the last guy we're gonna talk about, probably both of our favorite prospects,
Yeah.
Tommy White. You gotta tell me. You
Dude,
gotta talk about his nickname, Daniel. It's awesome.
first of all, the guy's nickname's Tommy Tanks. So
Look
I
at him.
think that's enough right there,
He's like a
like
young
for him.
Jack Justin Turner. Look at his picture.
Like dude looks like a stud. Actually transferred into LSU. I think he set the freshman like NCAA home run record a couple years ago with NC State before transferring. Like this guy
Jesus.
rakes, and this guy's raked all of college.
Hey, I mean, Buddy just hits absolute nukes, and I'm here for it. Yeah, he's absolutely terrible defensively, and he can't run. But you know what? He can play first and third, and that's fine with me. I mean, he kind of reminds me of like Rowdy Tellez, you know?
Yes, yes. He's currently listed as a third baseman. I feel like he'll move over to first base
He
slash
seems like a
DH.
he seems like a big DH guy. I mean, if this
Yeah,
guy can somehow mold into a Yordan Alvarez, I would cry.
this guy, he hits, man. I'm trying to find his stats from this year, but obviously the website I'm on is being very, very stupid. So
I'll try to
minor
find it
technical
too.
difficulties right now. But
Tommy White. There's probably a lot of Tommy Whites. Oh, there's not a lot of Tommy Whites out there. Tommy
there you go. I
White
got it
this
now.
year in Louisiana State. He hit 330 with a 401 on base, 1.039 slugging, and 24 dingers. And his
That
total
was
career.
also a down year from him, by the way.
Yeah,
Like his freshman
that's
year, the dude hit 27 home runs, batted 370,
yeah, that was
hit
his
a
worst year.
757 slugging with a 1.182 OPS.
Yeah, that was his like senior year was his worst year in
Yeah, and then he
college.
transferred to Louisiana State, LSU,
Yeah.
and just casually with Paul Skeens and them, hit like 375 with like a 1.15 OPS, 24 bombs, 100 plus RBIs. Like the
Yeah,
dude mashes.
just simply. I mean, yeah, he already won a state championship. Like, bro's just here to like, he's here to vibe, and I'm sure he'll be a great Toronto Blue Jay. But yeah, what are your final thoughts? Like, who would you rather have, Ryan Walschmidt, Vance Honeycutt, or Tommy White? Who is your number one?
Like, okay, selfishly, I want Tommy White just because the dude's nickname is fun. Guy rakes. Like, let's get that out of the way. The guy rakes.
Yeah.
And the Jays have absolutely no power in their team at all,
Oh,
or in the
put him
minors
up.
at
He
all.
could play for us right now, and he'd be our best power hitter, probably.
Right? Like
so.
we have no power. He would go on the team and probably have the second most power behind Vlad right now if we put him in the majors. The problem is he's kind of a liability defensively. He can only play first. He can only play third. DH really. And we have Vlad for right now. And if you extend Vlad, which I think they should,
They better.
kind of leaves a hole for Tommy White. So I do want Tommy White, and I would love him. And if they get him, I'd be great. But I really think they're going to take Vance Honeycutt. Dude's fast, Gold Glove defense with the Jays. Love their defensive metrics, right?
He's just a
and the
Blue
guy's
Jay.
got power.
Yeah, my number one is probably Vance Honeycutt. As a realistic prospect, obviously I like the guy who's going to go first overall in the draft, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I want Vance Honeycutt because he can play defense, he can hit, he can run, he can throw. Everything about him, I mean, his hit grade's 40, and Tommy White's hit grade is 55, even though they had the same average in college, which I don't know how they grade those out. But other than that,
Vance Honeycutt has more chase rate than Tommy White.
Does he?
That's the big
Okay,
one.
yeah, but you can fix that, whatever. But you can't really
the Jays are a very
you can't
disciplined
teach
organization.
Speed. You can't
right?
teach
Like
speed.
we learn to teach hitters to not swing at stuff. We overteach
That's
hitters
true.
not to swing at stuff. So
We overteach
getting
hitters
Vance
to get singles.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
listening to oh my god, Trevor May, the ex pitcher who's now doing YouTube in that.
Yeah.
He was basically talking about like his draft predictions, and he was saying that Vance Honeycutt should go to the Jays and they'd be a good pairing because the Jays, I think he said they're like the 29th percentage in all of MLB over the last whatever 20 years or 15 years in chase rate. So
Wow. Good for us.
yeah, it was something crazy. I might be throwing numbers out the window, but it was something like we were towards the bottom in chase rate for the last whatever years.
That
so
makes
getting
sense.
getting a guy like this to chase rate in there and fixing him like that, they have some real potential with this guy.
Yeah, put this guy with Matt Haig, and he's just going to be like
Yeah,
literally Mike Trout. Anywho, that's going to
exactly.
wrap it up for today's video. If you guys did enjoy and you want to hear more prospect talk from us, hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends. Yeah, with that being said, see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Later.